Welcome back. So let's get up close with the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, and what seems to be the major talking point from the beginning of this week is the fallout of the PDP Governors Forum meeting in Ibadan when they were hosted by Governor Seyi Makinde. And you know, the position presented by the governors is that no, we're not embarking on any coalition with anyone, but we welcome coalitions. So what's the implication of this? Who speaks for the People's Democratic Party? And what does this say about the political leanings of the PDP ahead of 2027? Let's have this interesting conversation this morning. And joining us on the program is the PDP chairman, Ogun State, who joins us virtually from Abeokuta, the state capital, Mr. Tella Bayomi. We also have joining us from our Abuja studio, a PDP chieftain and former Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, is also the spokesperson, League of Northern Democrats, Dr. Laden Salihu. Good morning, Doctor. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to start with that meeting of the PDP Governors Forum in Ibadan. Quite a lot has been said about that in different fora. Is this representative of the general sentiments of the People's Democratic Party, the position expressed by the Governors Forum that they're not embarking on the coalition, particularly from that meeting with leaders of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and other leaders of the other party, but that they welcome coalition in case there's any party that wants to align with them? So is this reflective of the general feelings of PDP members across board?
Well, thank you so very much. First of all, I'd like to just take a minute to reflect on your previous guest and the topic, concerning Plateau State and Bokos, and to align myself with the emotions of sympathies to all the victims of the families of the victims of the 53 people killed in this dastardly act. I hope and pray that Plateau State will recover from this very, very unfortunate incident. Now, to your question, let me state from the onset that the PDP, as a formidable political party, has a pedigree, has a history, and is guided by, its own constitution, just like any country, any set of, serious-minded association has its own laws, its constitution, and what have you. In the constitution of the People's Democratic Party, the National Executive Committee, or the National Working Committee, as some people will have it, is the supreme body that superintends over the affairs of the party. And I have been privileged, first as a reporter from 1998, when the first PDP convention was held in Jos, the convention that produced President Olusegun Obasanjo and Atiku Abubakar as president and vice presidents, respectively. And I have covered the PDP's convention over the years to this, to the very last one. In the past 3 conventions, I have participated either as a delegate or as a member of the planning committee or somewhere very close, up close and personal. So the constitution of the PDP is the supreme law of the party. The constitution produced the National Working Committee, which called for the first convention in 1998 or 99, that produced Obasanjo as president, like I said. And that has been the guiding principle of the PDP. And the PDP has had 16, national chairmen to this moment. And at each convention, it is the National Executive Committee, the neck of the party, that always calls the shots. What we see with the outcome of the governors' meeting in Ibadan was a misstep. It would appear to me that the governors' forum has literally taken over the powers of the National Executive Committee, and that itself is unconstitutional. There is nowhere in the document of the PDP where the governors forum will dictate and come up and literally assume the leadership of the party. I think it is unconstitutional. It's a misstep. Somewhere along the line, somebody has to call the governors forum to order. We have, our constitution, we have our rules, we have our laws, we have our procedures. And to assume that a forum within the party, and there are several fora, if you like, within the same party, will come up and say, okay, we are organizing a national convention, to even go ahead to say, okay, we have created committees with chairmanship, literally, and members from within its fold. That is overriding, that is assuming full control of the party and its structure. And I saw also the national chairman of the party, my friend and brother, Ambassador Umar Damagun. And one would ask, this is the first time that we see the national chairman in that fora. Why didn't we see other members of the National Executive Committee or the National Working Committee alongside, so that it will be something holistic, something that cuts across all, sections and sectors of the party. And that will then go down with the rank and file of the party as something that is holistic, all-inclusive, endorsed, and can therefore be sustained. But as it is, everything that I have seen in the actions of the governors' forum, it's an abuse of the constitutionality of the PDP.
Important questions that you have raised there, Dr. Saliu. Let's expand this conversation. And Mr. Tella, the PDP chairman in Ogun State, has since joined us virtually. Mr. Tella, I believe that you've been following the conversation and you have, heard those important points, questions that Dr. Saliu has asked. I'd like you to respond to them.
Well, thank you very much for having me this morning. Like my leader just did now, I conversate with people of Plateau State and Nigeria as a whole. Well, straight to this question. You see, thank God at the end of Dr. Laban's contribution, he made mention of the national chairman being seen in that place. You see, I think at this point, we have to agree that the governors are the generalissimo of this party in their various states. And as such, we should be able to work together because they are major stakeholders in this business of politics in PDP. For me, in my view, I think what the governors have did is to tell the people that, look, this party is still together. If you have all the governors from the umbrella of PDP together, channeling a way out of this quagmire that we are putting ourselves as a party, I don't think anything is wrong with that. And good enough, the national chairman of our party, Alhaji Umar Damagun, is even present at that meeting. I don't think anything bad has been done so far, because whether you like it or not, we are being some issues at the national level, and I keep telling people that, look, come on, this party is not just at the national. We have 36 states, including Abuja, where this party is being run. If the states can hold themselves together, Abuja will be forced to hold together. And if the governor have decided to take the bull by the horn now and make sure that the party is united, I don't think, in my own opinion, they have breached any party constitution in this instance. I have the constitution of the party with me. I sleep with it. I wake up with it every day. But channeling a way to get out of this quagmire, I think is still in order. They have not made any pronouncement other than what they have suggested for the party. And as far as I'm concerned, is PDP as a party not big enough to be the major opposition in this country? We are. Even though it looks like a crime to be in an opposition in Nigeria. But we have to re-strategize, put in a lot of reform, and ensure that we are together, we are strong, we build unity. Because all these governors have started is to build unity that is lacking at the national level. And I think I give kudos to them. I really, in my opinion, I'm in support of their move, and I'm standing by them. If there is anything that they have done in their meeting that is, not good enough, which I have not seen, they are major stakeholder. NEC has been called for May. When we get to NEC of our party, we will discuss that. The issue, one of our problems is that the issue of our party, immediately we saw any small thing that is not in tandem with our own opinion or with our wish, we'll go into the air and begin to condemn one another. And I think that is what led us to where we are today. Thank God the governors have taken the bull by the horn and they are moving us back to the right track, the right direction. I think we'll just support them. I give them 100%, and I think very, very good people in PDP who are at the state levels, who the 36 people, the states in this federation that make PDP, of course, are what is called Abuja. Without them, there's no
Mr.
Abuja.
Mr. Abayomi, let me stay with you before I go back to Mr. Saliu. A couple of things I would like you to respond to. First is the fact that governors are quite important in the structure of the party, even though they are not an organ of the party, but they belong to all of the organs, at least at the top level. So what they did at Ibadan, would you call it a suggestion or a decision? Because I know they said that the Deputy National Secretary should be acting in the stead of Mr. Sam Ayan, who is still insisting by the Supreme Court judgment that he's still in charge of the party. There's a lot. I want you to speak to this conundrum and how to get out of it. That meeting, they took a position. They proposed the NEC for 27th. They proposed the convention, I think, for 27th of August, and some of these decisions. So first, what are the decisions they took? What are the suggestions? I want you to break that down. On the other part, we're also hearing discordant tune amongst them as well. The day after that, just the day after that, if my memory serves me right, when they took their position and said, oh, we're not in for a coalition, but if you're ready, you can come to us. The governor of Akwa Ibom State was campaigning for the president, and he's a member of the PDP government. So there's a lot of confusion. Sometimes you look at the PDP, you don't even know which direction to look. There's Atiku, there's Wike, there's the governor. Isn't it exhausting?
Well, I like to tell you that, we are doing politics, and it's just normal that, there will be divergent views even when majority say yes. You can have some little note. But having said that, this is what I just have to say. You see, the highest organ of the party is the NEC. And whichever thing you have taken a decision from, maybe from the local government, from the state, or from whatever, whether it's suggestion or whatever it is, you still come back to NEC. And when you get to NEC, you will ratify all the decisions that you have taken from whichever corners. And I repeat, the national chairman of the party was at that meeting. He's there when all this is being said. And having said that, it then means that, look, we still have NEC there to go to. We should not create we should not create unnecessary issues from these decisions or suggestions of the governor and then begin to create another problem for our party again. Let's wait for NEC. The national chairman was there. Why the decision has been taken within the governors. So let's wait for our NEC. When we get to NEC, we are all members of NEC. I am a member of NEC as a state chairman, and I'm sure all the governors are members of NEC. So the people taking the decision are not total strangers, and we have a national chairman there. What me I'm just opposed, as it were today, is that, look, it's enough for us to begin to create issues on the public space and begin to say all sorts of things to further, divide the party. No, if some people have taken the lead to build the party, to create unity, we should just move in that direction. As far as I'm concerned, the NEC is still there to ratify whatever decisions that might be taken or suggestions that might be making in the state by the governors.
All right, let me come to Dr. Saliu now and just get your thoughts really on another issue that was decided upon at at that meeting, right? So the governors came out, aside the conversation around the neck and the rest. They said, well, we're not going to any coalition, that even though they welcome coalition. But we've seen Mr. Atiku Abubakar, who has even spoken afterwards, saying, well, this train has left the station, I'm going for a coalition. It looks like this is yet another division point. So what do you make of this? Can Mr. Atiku Abubakar survive without the governors? Is he trying to call their bluff, if that is a bluff anyway? What exactly is playing out, really?
Well, first of all, let me let me say, excuse me, that the PDP is intact, but is in we're in troubling times, so to say. First of all, I think the PDP, we need to have a kind of SWOT analysis and introspection of how we get to this point where you have, the party literally, losing out in terms of cohesion and, integration. And I think the first misstep was that after the presidential election, one would have expected that the party, the same governors forum and the National Executive Committee will sit down, should have, sat down to say, okay, let us have a report that speaks to the flaws, the setbacks, the challenges, the constraints, the limitations, and why did we even lose the presidential election? As I speak to you, the National Executive Committee, or any committee to my knowledge that I know in the party, within the party, has not even produced a presidential elections, analysis report. So here we are, when this same Governors Forum, and let me say that I have a lot of respect for the Governors Forum. I have served as the Chief of Staff to one of them, and proudly so. But I want to believe that we are putting the cart before the horse. This entire document from the Governors Forum should have been something that, should have been kept under wraps and presented to the National Executive Committee without making it a public document. And then it would be seen as just a suggestion, a recommendation. But to outline, the modus operandi of even doing a national convention with membership of the party strictly drawn from their own ranks, shortchanges other stakeholders within the party.
Well, Dr. Sali, I'm speaking
we all
specifically,
need to know that.
Pardon me, I'm speaking specifically to the statement around the coalition, which negates what Mr. Atiku Abubakar is trying to achieve.
Okay,
so the question is he now an orphan, now that the governors are no more supporting him? Is he an orphan in the party now?
No, I think everybody is a stakeholder in this party. Before the Governors Forum communique, there was a meeting in Eradua Center. I'm sure you knew about that meeting, where Atiku Abubakar, the El-Rufai is, and other prominent members of the party, and even, the NNPP and the Labour Party were in attendance. We all agreed at that meeting that the PDP should coalesce, should go into a kind of coalition with other political parties and political interests to wrestle power from the APC in a democratic manner. And we believe that coming together is strategic, coming together is helpful, coming together will produce the numbers that are necessary for the party and the coalition partners to succeed in ousting the PDP in 2020, APC in the 2027 elections. No one, under the circumstance, the empirical examples and the numbers are there. There's just no way the PDP can pull through this 2027 election and be assured of victory from the precarious position that we are in right now. So it is important that we all extend our hands of fellowship and our hands of friendship to other interest groups politically to come together, to assume that with the troubling times that we are in, that we can all go it alone, is to give a blank ticket for, the re-election of President Tinubu in 2027. Anything short of a coalition that will bring all the, opposition parties together under one umbrella, working, with each other to ensure victory in the 2027 election. Anything short of that, I can assure you, you can save this clip.
Well,
Tinubu will return in 2027. So we must come together. And so, like I said, the Governors Forum is an interest group within a party that has a lot of respect and has a lot of gravitas, if you'd like. But then, in my opinion, we should play by the rules. And that is to say, we work in tandem with and respect the National Executive Committee and, all other stakeholders in the party. Look, we have people in the party. We have Sule Lamidos. We have, the former Vice President Namadi Sambo. We have credible people that the Governors Forum must take note of.
Yeah.
It is not the question of one forum just breaking away to say we are providing leadership. No, it has to be consistent with the Constitution and constitutionality of the party. And
it will be interesting to know the thoughts of, those whom you have mentioned as far as the destination of this coalition. But with so many dissenting voices, one would wonder, what's the fate of the PDP? Some have even said, some members of your party have even said that the governor's position is reflective of the fact that they may be surreptitiously working with Mr. President, that's President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress ahead of 2027. So one might ask, what is left then of the PDP? It seems the PDP is in tatters. Mr. Teller, that's for you this time.
Well, I don't really believe that PDP is in...
pardon me, Dr. Saliu. That would be... Let's expand the conversation. That would be for Mr. Teller, the PDP chairman in Ogun State. Yeah.
Let me align with Dr. Laban that whether we like it or not, we need coalition in 2027 to be able to, wrestle power from the ruling government. Yeah, having said that, I want to say that the decision of the governor to totally condemn the coalition, in my opinion, may not be right. Because whether we like it or not, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is an integral part of the PDP. And as rightly mentioned by Dr. Laban now, Dr. Namadi Sambo is our respectable leader in the party. But like I always say, you see, from this angle, I always tell the people, even if I have the opportunity in NEC as a NEC member tomorrow, I'm going to tell our leaders that enough should be enough. If you mean well, when you want to do something, let others be in tandem with you so that we can move together as a party. I think one of our problems and our undoing is that we unilaterally take decisions and move. Even no matter how good intentions are, this is politics. People who have dissenting voice. All those dissenting voices are supposed to have, talked about ab initio before you move. But having said all of that, I think it's not too late for us to, begin to work together, because I want to agree that we need a coalition.
Mr. Teller, pardon me. I'd like you to speak to the position expressed by some members of your party that the PDP governors, by saying that they're not going into any coalition, are surreptitiously admitting to working with President Tinubu. I'd like you to respond to that.
Well, I think I was going there. But for me, I don't think, you see, speculation is one of the problems, one of the bane of our problems in this party, If the governors, if people are suspected, the governor has not done anything. Like I said, the governor is just one organ of the party. There are still several organs of the party that will come together and take decisions. We've done election in the past, yeah. We have gotten governors forum in the past. But for me, I am not going to speak for the governors. Whatever they Whatever they have said out is what I'm going to judge on from. And I'm not a member of the Governors Forum. But I don't think any reasonable member of a party at that level will be willing to go and join President Tinubu in 2027. And that's just my submission. So as far as I'm concerned, we still have room to discuss and talk about what we are going to do together as a party and other parties to form a coalition. What I'm underlining is that we need a coalition in 2027, as rightly said by Dr. Laba. That's the truth.
So let's take it to Mr. Saliu. Mr. Taylor, Bukola has asked an important question. And I mentioned that there were clear anti-party activities in 2023 presidential election, barefaced, and they were unapologetic about it. So she's asked that question to say surreptitiously, but I'm going to say clearly. Akwa Ibom State Governor 2 days ago said the president will do 8 years and they will stand by him. Mr. Saliu, when you hear such things from governors on the platform of your party at this crisis moment, at least he's bold enough to say his mind. Others may just not be talking. How do you feel? How does the party take it?
I think we have a kind of political conundrum, if you'd call it, a mosaic of, if you like, a puzzle, you know, that gets people worried about, you know, the direction of our party when you look at what, like you rightly mentioned, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, you know, said. And when you go back to, you know, the months preceding the 2023 elections, you would remember that, you know, the G5 then, and one of the governors in the current dispensation was a member of the G5, and he clearly worked against, you know, the fortunes of the party at the presidential level. Let us not be pretentious about it. And there are fears within some members of the party that I have spoken to in the last 3-4 days that should this trend continue, it will be like, you know, we'll be shooting ourselves in the foot. We should not appear to be a party that shoots first and then aims later. When we lose, we come back and complain. When we need to do the needful, we go into our cocoon of blame game until we lose. Then we come out to be the, you know, the complainants. So let me say this and say it with all manner of sincerity. We cherish the Governors Forum. We appreciate their contribution to the, you know, survival of the party and everything that they have been doing to make the party remain relevant and intact. They are respectful people or members of our own party. But the kind of leadership that they are trying to give must be consistent with the rules and regulations of our party. They must be seen to be under the umbrella of the National Executive Committee of the party. They must not be seen to be surreptitiously dictatorial or calling the shots for the party, because there are major stakeholders that are out there in 24 states that are relevant to the survival of the party. So we must be engaging, we must deepen stakeholding, we must reach out to all members of the party, you know, the rank and file and, you know, leadership, statesmen and what have you. It's only when you have a congregation, a conglomeration of like minds working, you know, with every sense of decorum and respect that the party will succeed. There is no one arm of the party. No arm of the party can succeed on its own. And if, you know, I'm trying not to avoid your question, but to say that at the end of this run, my take will be that some of the governors will definitely align with Atiku Abubakar. I don't have any worries about that. All right. Right now, it is just a chessboard, and we'll wait and see how it plays out. But we must come together as a party. We must be seen to be interactive. We must be seen to be engaging. We must be seen to be speaking to each other, the governors and the National Executive Committee and all stakeholders.
Just 10 seconds for you to respond to this. If you say that you're sure that the governors, some of the governors will align with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, are you confirming that Atiku Abubakar will be running again in 2027? In 10 seconds.
They will align with his thoughts, with his own focus, with his own aspirations to be inspired, to provide leadership.
Whatever the case, one wonders if Nigerians will be voting for the PDAPC in 2027 or the APDP in 2027. Thank you so much.
We'll live to see that. Thank you.
We've been talking with Dr. Ladan Sali, who is the PDP chieftain, former DGFRCN and spokesperson, League of Northern Democrats. We've also been talking with Mr. Tela Bayomi, the PDP chairman, Ogun State, who joined us virtually from Abeokuta, the state capital. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming through on this one.
Thank you.
And from here to what would seem to be one of the offshoots of politicking or leadership, as the case may be, technology in the education space for gender balance or parity, as the case may be. Stay with us for this one. We'll be right back.